Okay, welcome everybody. We are going to be talking about opportunities. We're going to deep dive into opportunities today. So we're going to go over your workflow inside of them. We're going to go over checklists you can add inside of them. We're going to go over uploading paperwork. We're going to go upload, or we're going to talk about details inside of there. It's going to be all about opportunities today. So we are inside of Command, and to get into Command, it's agent.kw.com. I'm going to turn my cursor on. One more second, where are you? There we go. So we're gonna go into agent.kw.com. That's our login into Command. You're gonna use your MyKW credentials to log in. And then opportunities are these two shaking hands right here. If I click on those. All right, so we are in the home screen. This is not mine, this is a different agent's. Sorry, I was on the wrong one. There we are, we're back into mine now. We're gonna go into opportunities. And we are at the home screen for opportunities. There are a couple different things we're gonna go over. The first are the pipelines. And you'll see that we have three pipelines. We have a listings pipeline, a buyer's pipeline, and leases pipeline. We're going to kind of ignore leases. We generally don't handle those here. But we do handle listings and buyers. So inside of listings, you'll see that it is a green icon and it says listings above, and buyers is a red icon. And each of them have the same stages, or sorry, same phases, right? I don't know, we're about to find out. Inside of those pipelines, because they go through the same phase. Yeah, it's a phase. So the cultivate phase is the very beginning, followed by the appointment phase, into the active phase, and then under contract phase, and finally the closed phase. If I were to click on one of the phases, like the little plant here, cultivate, can anyone tell me why it's a plant for cultivate? Yeah, it is. It's about growing. So Breezy said, because they start small and they grow, which is exactly what that is. You're cultivating that relationship. You're growing that relationship. So they have a little plant. It's the only plant icon in here to kind of move away from that into the next one. So if I click on this, it says I have two in here, which is true. I have two opportunities. I have 3rd Street and Janet White testing opportunities in here. And they are in different stages. So 3rd Street is in the watch stage. Then there's the nurture stage, the hot stage, and then I have a Tech 102 1021 stage. This was put in for our tech class in Lakewood Ranch. So each of these phases, so the phases are at the top. We have cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, and closed. These are each going to have their own stages inside of them. And a stage is composed of a few different things. So if we look at the very top, we'll have the name of the stage, how many are in that stage, and this is the probability of it reaching the closed phase. So right now, if it's in watch, it's a 5% probability that it's going to get into closed. Then if we look into the box itself, we have the opportunities. And inside of the opportunity, there's a little checklist in here. And this checklist right now can currently go into every opportunity that we drag into here. And it will put in the same checklist that it has in here, because this is for every opportunity that goes into this stage, it creates a blank checklist that I've pre-made. So for example, right now, the Janet White testing has 3 out of 3 on their checklist, but if I move it back over to watch, it's going to switch to 0 to 14 for this watch stage. And then down below, I have a probable income of $1,755 from these opportunities and a potential income of $35,000. I think I have one of these as $1 million. So that's a very big potential. And if you watch, if I move Janet White testing, it updates down here. And there's new probable for nurture, 357, and potential of $5,100. And now I have the 1 and then 7% probability. Let's say one of these stages doesn't work for me, like this Tech 102, that doesn't fit anywhere. I'm going to click on edit stages. And I'll see that I can edit any of the stages that I have in my phase. So I can even move these around. So let's say I wanted Tech 102 first. Move to the top. Go back to listings cultivate. Now Tech 102 is at the front. So you can edit these into whatever order. You don't have to keep them called watch, nurture, or hot. If I want to change the name of one of these, I can click on the pencil button and I can change this to class. One, and I can bring this probability down to 2. Save. So now there is a class 11.8.21, 2% probability, nothing's in there. But I don't want that in there at all. So I'm going to come back into the edit stages and I'm going to click the trash can to delete it. And now it is gone. Wonderful. Easy, easy peasy. So let's say we are watching for this customer. And now we move to the next stage of nurture. And then we're going to move them into hot. You can see that the checklists are changing. So if I want to update, let's take a look. I'm going to take this back into watch. I'm going to click on the checklist. And it's going to show me that I had a get email, get cell phone number, get current address, all these different things in here.
Hey, Blake,
Yes.
are there any checklists that are already in there? Because you said you created these, right?
Yes. Yep. So the checklists are not in there. They start out blank and you have to fill in your own.
Okay, thanks.
So you can put in your system.
I have a question.
Sure.
How do you, when you initially clicked on this, those were already, those two things were already in there?
Mhm.
How do you like add them?
Oh, we will get to how to create the opportunity. Mhm. I'm going to go through this pipeline first and then we'll go into that. So hold on to that. Remember that question. So if I want a checklist in each of these opportunities, I'm going to click the edit stages button. And then here's the checklist column. Click on the checklist and I can add or delete any of these items. And these will appear in every one of them, or every opportunity will appear just like this. If I want to delete one of these, let's say I want to delete this request W9, I can click on the 3 dots and then click delete or edit to change what that is. I click save. Now let's say that we're looking at an opportunity that is a little different from all the other standard opportunities. I need to add an additional checklist item. So if I add one through the opportunity right here, it will only appear for this opportunity. So if I clicked on the checklist, I scroll down to the bottom, I click add item, and maybe it's learn pets names. And I'll click save. So now learn pets names is down at the bottom and I can move this up to the very top. Maybe it's my second item. And then right across it says client update. This means that if I have this checked off, my client is going to get an email the next day or at the end of the week saying that, yes, they learned your pet's names. So they're updated on the actions that you take if it is selected of client update. I can also set a due date on when this might be due. So maybe it's due on the 10th and I can give it a time. I can click OK. If I want to hide completed items, I can turn this on. So everything that I finished, it is now hidden. So let's say I did that. And then this graph goes up every time I select that it has been completed. Click close. And now let's get ready. We're going to put it in the appointment phase because we're going to go schedule an appointment. So now it's in the make an appointment stage. After I've done that, it's in the scheduled phase or stage because I have scheduled it. And then once I have one done the appointment and it's been kept, move it into kept, then I'll move it into follow up after our meeting. After that, we'll say that they have signed with me to list. I'm going to move it into active. And it is, oh, where did you go? Did it not come through? Oh boy. Oh, there it is. Okay. So now I can move it through the same way to the end. As we can watch that our probable income is once again changing. So there's that 15,000, potential 30,000. Moving into showing. Come on, update. Move it into offer phase and move it into under contract when a contract has been signed for it. And so on and so forth, all the way until we get to closed. It's going to ask me what the actual closing date was, and I will confirm it. And it will sit in closed until the end of the month, until it is moved into archive, and it will just basically disappear, but you can access it at any time you'd like to. I click the back button under all opportunities. So if I'm in all opportunities, I can find that closed one in here. See how it says closed. All right. If I continue to go along, there is the GCI over here, which has the total potential income and the probable income listed right below it. And that's the same for all three. If I scroll down, we'll see the ratio that I have for listings, buyers, and leases, and my activity graph here, and closings this month happening. Now, if I wanted to create an opportunity, so it shows up in one of those boxes, I'm going to click create opportunity. Market center is going to be Inglewood. If you work in multiple market centers, please pay attention to which one you are working in. That's going to be based on your location. So if I am part of a market center up in Michigan and the market center down here in Inglewood, I'm going to make sure I'm in Inglewood when I'm doing Florida transactions. The opportunity type is where we are choosing. It's the listing, buyer, landlord, or tenant. So we can say listing or buyer. I'm going to choose buyer for this one.
Dave Lake,
Yes.
another question. So in this, what would you do if it was a referral?
So
Would you
they're
ju-
referring to you, or you have
No,
referral money coming in?
I'm referring to someone else.
Okay, yeah. So if you're doing a referral, you're going to do a opportunity type buyer. And then there's a referral checklist inside of the buyer's documents tab.
Okay,
I'll show you that when we get in there.
okay,
So I did teach a referral class on that. The class is on YouTube that you can watch, and it goes through that
Okay.
whole process.
okay, great, thanks.
So the owner of the opportunity is myself. You own the opportunity unless you're on a team. Maybe your team leader would own it. The client is going to be whoever your customer is or client is. And then the co-buyer is also either who else is buying the property or who else is selling the property. Opportunity name. So the opportunity name, I would advise you to make it the address property. It's going to make it easier on sorting for yourself, because let's say you work with an investor that's going to want to buy 20 properties at a time. You wouldn't want their name, Jane Smith, on there 20 times, because then you'd be like, well, which one is it that I need to go into? Because maybe there was an issue with just one of them. You want the property address. You can have like a dash, their name next to it if you want to, but I would always make it the property name or address. So we'll make this one 07 home home place. We come down to custom tags. So this is a way, just like contacts, we can organize things. So maybe it's a land deal, or it's luxury. Maybe it's a family home, or this is a family member that I'm working with. Maybe it's single family home that I want to tag it as. So I'm going to type single SFH, single family home. And I'll click the SFH tag. Maybe it's a condo too, or it's not going to be a condo and a single family home, but maybe it could be a condo. I already have that in there, so I can type in condo. Perhaps it's waterfront. Waterfront, one word. Estimated close date. There are several things that are not required to create an opportunity. Everything that has a red asterisk is required. So the custom tags is not required. Estimated close date is not required. Time frame not required. Budget is not required. Commission rate is. And this is asking you what your half of the commission is, not the total commission. So whatever your half could be making. If you do get both sides, you can edit this later on, but you're going to want to start with your half. So let's say estimated close date of the 25th. Time frame, no time frame. Budget. Million. Commission rate. We're going to pretend that it's a 6% listing maybe that we found, so we're going to say 3. But this is not set in stone. This is all based on negotiations. The cultivate phase. So this is how we get the opportunities inside the boxes. We're going to choose which phase that it's going to start off in. And you can either choose cultivate, appointment, or active. Let's say if it is in cultivate, that means you're just growing in this relationship and maybe you bumped into them someplace and you just started talking. This is where I would put you. Like, you know what? It's okay to start an opportunity for someone you just started talking with, because you can have as many of those opportunities as you would like. And as long as you're pursuing them to be when it comes your customer or client, then that can stay in there. You can always choose appointment phase if you're like, yeah, let's get together tomorrow to discuss this. Appointment. Active means you are signing the listing agreement or even the contract to send over. So I'm going to actually start them in appointment. Let's ask you what stage it is it? Is it in? Scheduling, scheduled or kept. I'm just going to say it is scheduled because we're going to meet tomorrow to discuss this. And then I'll click create. Once we are inside of the opportunity, I can choose to edit this information if I have to. As more information comes along, I want to update it. So I'll click the pencil button and these boxes become editable. Except for the gray one. So you can't change the market center, the team, or the deal owner, but you can change almost everything else. Let's see. Well, agreement 1, so the 10th. Appointment scheduled. What is the appointment date? It's the 9th. And then I can click save. Yes, you can archive the opportunity. So if you want to practice, feel free to practice. You can archive them. They're going to go away. You won't see them. The property. So this is a buyer's pipeline. So the property isn't going to come along until they're basically, yep, I want to put an offer in on this. So you can put that property address in here. So I started typing and it brought up a bunch of addresses. This is off of Google Maps. So I'm going to just choose the office address. And I'll click save and it puts it right in here. The buyer profile, this is based off of your app and your website. So if your client is registered on your app or your website, they can get a hold of a checklist for them to follow. And that checklist is their guide. And they're going to be able to follow it along with you basically. And it's going to tell them, okay, now it's time to do this. And then it's time to do that. And they can check it off saying it's been completed. And you'll be able to see that in this buyer profile. So that, oh, I don't have my phone. It's inside of the app and at the bottom of it, it says guide. It'll have a couple different buttons down there, and guide is one of them. So when I come to the documents tab, it's going to start off with asking me to pick a checklist type, which I will. And I can choose a residential, vacant land, new construction, or incoming referral. So this is what we were talking about, Debbie, before, that incoming referral checklist. And it's going to be under contract. That's going to have all the paperwork that you need. So that referral agreement and W-9 goes in here. And you're going to put it in as the address up at the top for that referral property. I can change checklists in here. So let's say this is a residential home. The consultation is the first folder, and there's under contract. And you can see in here the requirement status. If it says required, it must be in there. I can organize these to be in all required by clicking that drop down. So here's all the required first, then the conditionals, then the optionals. You'll see that this is the purchase contract, needs to be uploaded over here. And right now it's set on my computer, so upload manually. And if I click start a transaction, it would create a DocuSign room where I could have my paperwork that's signed, and I can upload from there as well. But you're also going to see this DS. So this DS stands for DocuSign. That means these items will be automatically pulled into your room for you, so you don't have to go searching for them. You may ask, why isn't the purchase contract in there? That's because there are two different types of purchase contracts, and you need to choose which one you're going to use, the as is or the standard. We're not going to make you use one or the other. Property disclosure is going to be coming from the listing agent because this is a buyer, so it can't be pulled in. Same thing, receipt for escrow is going to come from the escrow company, and home warranty is also going to be coming from you as well. There's a couple different choices in the home warranty in there. So also why it's not pulled in automatically. Okay, and then once I have these documents uploaded, I click submit to MC. Offers and commissions is where you're going to submit your offer and your commissions request to get your DA. And the DA is going to come back into documents at the bottom, I believe, of under contract. Rhoda uploads it at the very bottom down here. Rhoda, yep, she does our DAs. And then the next tab is notes. So you can add any notes in here. Maybe you want to add your title company information in there. You can add contact. Maybe the other agent's information can go in here. It's up to you really what goes into the notes. This is a good way if you're on a team to communicate with each other. So like right here, notes created by assignees will show up here. So this is the team note. And then there's the timeline, which will show the whole opportunity for this specific, or the whole timeline for the specific opportunity. Let's go into one that is gone through a little bit to look at that. Let's go to a listing. So if I go to timeline in this one, it'll show you the exact timeline of what has happened within this opportunity. All right, that is an opportunities deep dive. Questions? Distribution authorization. You'll hear different terms in different states. Like I just found out that Texas calls them CDAs. I don't know why. We call them DAs. Oh, here we go. If we have a listings opportunity, there's going to be a button up here that'll say select listing to attach a property. So all you have to do is, I'll show you. All you have to do is click on select from listings. And if your listings are in here, you'll be able to select it. It needs to be in the MLS first before it'll pop up in here. So you're going to put it in the MLS and then you come into here to attach it. Let's say it's not just my, it's I'm just going to say, we're going to pretend that this is my listing here. I click select and it attaches it up here. Because sometimes you will get a error message saying listing not connected for this offer or market or commissions request, sorry. It'll show up down here. When you click submit, it'll say listing not connected. So be sure that is connected in there. Okay, that is it for pipeline, or not pipeline, but for opportunities. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd be happy to help. You can email me, text me. If you call me, I will call you guys back due to my schedule. And that is it. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Blake.
Bye.